So moving on from our previous HUD menu system, we're going to add in controller support. So Unreal 4 doesn't natively support this, but we do have a kind of like simple workaround where we can add in a simple variable, check if a button's been pressed, and then like add or take away to that variable. Whatever value that variable has, it will highlight one of our buttons. Okay, so they're the start, options, or quit game, so it will highlight one of those. So to do that, first of all, we're going to have to set up a variable. So I'm going to hit plus variable. I'm going to call this button number. It's not going to be Boolean though. It is going to be a integer, so a value between 0 and 2, because this is going to be value 0, this is going to be 1, and this is going to be 2. So it's going to work between those values. What we want to do is first of all get our player controller, and this is all going to work off event tick. Okay, so I'm going to get my player controller, and I'm going to pull out from that, and I'm going to type in input down, and then it's going to ask is input key down. Okay, and what we're going to bind this to is our gamepad, and we're going to say D-pad down just for now. So we're just going to check on that. I can like pull out from this and have an R, so Boolean R, and then pull out from this here, or copy and paste this. And like instead of D-pad down, like I could have D-pad left as well. So we could work with down or left if you wanted to, and then just plug that in there, and it will check for both values. Okay, but we'll just leave it on down. Also going to copy and paste this, and we're going to have one for D-pad up. Okay. So out from this here event tick, we're going to have two sequences, or one sequence, sorry. So a sequence, and what it's going to do is it's going to say basically a branch, and the condition is going to be this. And we're going to do the same down here, branch. I'm just going to move these away because it is going to get slightly messy. And again, that's going to plug in there. Oh, sorry, get rid of our R, we don't need that. And these are going to plug in. So now we've got this sequence that's checking is our D-pad being pressed up. If that's true, it's going to do something. If it's been pressed down, if that's true, that's going to do something. And basically what it's going to do is it's going to set our button number. Okay, so we're going to do that twice. And what it's going to do is we're going to get this. So we're going to get what our button number is. And when we press up, we're going to add a plus. So we're going to add a 1. Okay. And then when we go down, so we're going to get this and hit the minus key, integer minus integer, it's going to be -1. And by default, okay, I'm going to set this to 0, which means by default it will hopefully start on start game. Then what we're going to do is we're going to get a switch, and it's going to be switch on integer, and we're going to add a pin, add a pin, add a pin. So we've got 0, 1, 2, 3. We're not going to use the default one. and our selection is going to come from our button number, so we're going to get that. So whatever that is, it's going to fire off one of these three. And we don't need two of these, we're just going to use one. Okay, so they're going to feed into the same one. And because we've named our buttons here, it's going to be a lot easier to do. So I'm going to grab my start game one. Okay, going to get that. We're going to go pull out from that, type in background. I'm going to set background color. And I'm going to set it to something like red, just so it's easy to see. I'm going to copy and paste that 3 times. And each time I'm going to add in like options, so I'm going to get that and add that into my target. And quit game is also going to get that and add that into my target. It's going to leave these under, it's a bit neater. And 0 is going to go into this one, 1's going to go in here, 2 is going to go in there. So depending on the number, it's going to highlight these as red. But it does mean that when you go through them, that they're all going to be red. Okay. So what we want to do next is we want to get our start game again. Pull out from that and type in background. We're going to set that to white. Okay. And what we're going to do, I'm going to delete this actually. What we're going to do is, when we set start game to red, okay, we're going to want to have our options and our quit game white, so back to normal. Then when we set our options to red, we want our start game and our quit game back to white. And then when we set our quit game to red, we want our options white and our start game white. Let's compile, save, press play. So it's not working right now. So what I can do is just pull off from this here and type in print string. And what we can do is we can get the value of this here button number just to check it out. And you can see what's happening here. When I press on the D-pad, it's just giving me a stream, so every frame it's updating. So what we want to do is, in this sequence, okay, we're going to add in a delay. 0.2 for that one, delay at 0.2 for that one. That should be fine. We're also going to check when it's moving up, is it higher than 2? So we're going to add another branch here, and what we're going to do is we're going to check the value of this number. Okay, so we're going to get this number and we're going to ask it, is it equal to 2? So if we type in here and we say, is this equal to 2? Okay, and if that's true, then we're not going to add anything. So we're going to stop this true node. We're going to hold down Alt and click that. So if it's not equal to 2, yeah, we're going to add one. Okay, and we're going to have to do the same down here in the bottom part as well. So after this here branch, we're going to add another branch in, and we're going to check this here. So we're going to get, and we're going to say, is this equal to 0? Okay, and if that's true, we don't want to do anything, so we're going to get rid of this node. But if it's false, if it's not equal to 2, then we're going to add one. So if I compile, press play, get my controller now, so you can add up to 2, but it doesn't go anywhere. And if I move down, it goes to options, start game, but it doesn't move past 0. So that's working. So now we've been able to highlight these. What we can do now is maybe add in another sequence. We're going to check what number it's at, and then if we press a button such as the X or the A button on the 360 controller, it will do something when that's highlighted. So what we're going to do is we're going to add in another delay, 0.2. We're going to get this same switch on int, and we're going to say, okay, when this is 0, so when this is on the start game, we're going to plug this into play animation and then open our level. We haven't set up our options one yet, which would be number 1, but when it's a number 2, we're going to quit the game. And these are just the nodes that I have from the previous session, so if you've not watched that video, just go back to that video. So if I compile and press play now, I was pressing the button by mistake. Oh, actually, sorry. I need to get a branch here. So I do. So branch. And I'm going to check if input key down on the gamepad, and it's going to be the face button bottom. Okay, so that's either X or A, depending on what controller you're using. So I've got my option here, start game, press that, it'll play the game. If I go down to quit game, press that, it will quit the game. I did notice that these here are actually going the wrong way. So what I can do is, instead of D-pad up, I'm just going to put D-pad down here, and D-pad down is going to change to D-pad up. Let's compile, press play. That's working fine now. So that's how you set up controller support. And again, like if you've got more buttons, then you're going to have more switch pins here with more background setting, and then setting them again. And then again, like if you've got more options, you've got to have this here is going to have more integer numbers, and you're going to have a load of more options down here too.